This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast stations and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is WGNAM. We will continue to serve the Chicago area. If you are not in this local area, you should tune to stations providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the Chicago operational area. Do not use your telephone. The telephone lines should be kept open for The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States President. The President is asking all citizens of the United States to remain in a sheltered location and to remain calm during this national emergency. As of 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, an artificial intelligence from an unknown location has declared an attack on this country. Nuclear attacks were carried out earlier this evening, including one nuclear detonation in the city of Los Angeles, devastating most of the southwest United States. At this time, it appears that the city of Seattle was impacted by a nuclear missile at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. However, two other nuclear missiles bound for Chicago and Baltimore have failed to hit these cities. The whereabouts of the second and third missiles remain unknown. Other nuclear detonations were reported in Central and Southern America, as well as in portions of Eastern Asia. Robots were also reported attacking countries along Europe and Western Asia. Citizens of the United States are to remain calm in this global attack, and ask all residents to remain in a shelter, or to seek a fallout shelter, if they reside along the west coast of the United States. The United States National Guard have been dispatched to handle this situation. Please continue to listen to your local radio station for further information for your local area. This was a message from the United States government. All broadcast and radio stations are requested to continue providing news and information for their local area.
We interrupt regular programming at the request of the Illinois Emergency Operations Center for an important announcement. Important information will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Illinois Emergency Operations Center. The governor of the state of Illinois has announced that the nuclear threat to this state has ceased. However, all residents in the state of Illinois are asked to remain in their homes with all windows and doors locked. Martial law is currently in effect. No one is allowed to leave their shelter unless absolutely necessary. Military shelters are being set up in various areas across the state of Illinois. Shelter locations will be sent to local emergency management agencies shortly. As for now, remain at home until the threat has ceased. You may face certain death by venturing outdoors. That was a message from the Illinois Emergency Operations Center. WGNM will continue to serve the Chicago area. Stay tuned to this station.
Please stand by. Station KSSK has interrupted regular programming for a state of emergency. Please stand by. This is a civil danger warning for the state of Hawaii. At 5 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, a large number of robots have entered the state from the Pacific Ocean and are causing damage and injuries across the state. These robots are reported to show extreme hostility to humans and are heavily armed. All residents in the state of Hawaii are asked to shelter in place immediately. Lock all windows and doors. Turn off all heating and ventilation systems. If you have armed intervention, use it only if necessary. Local authorities are attempting to handle this situation. Repeating, this is a state of emergency for the state of Hawaii. Seek shelter inside in a building now. These robots are capable of causing significant harm and damage to property. Stay tuned to KSSK for the latest news and information.
This is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We're requesting activation by all broadcasters of the emergency alert system for a local area emergency. This is a message from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is asking all residents in Los Angeles County to remain vigilant in regards to a number of unidentified robots wandering around the outskirts north of the city. It remains unclear to where these robots originated from or what their intentions are at this time. These robots have not displayed any hostility to persons or other objects in their vicinity. Citizens are requested to stay clear of these robots as a precaution. Continue to monitor news, radio, and TV stations for the latest information. This concludes this emergency alert system message from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The following is an important message from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Residents in the city of Los Angeles are requested to remain alert today. Robots that were spotted earlier today have been spotted roaming around downtown Los Angeles. These robots have not shown any aggression, and they appear to be in a passive state at this time. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department are asking all residents in the city of Los Angeles to remain away from these robots until they can be safely moved to a proper location. If you spot robots moving towards your location, keep your distance and refrain from touching or interacting with any robots at any time. If you're in a building, it is recommended you lock all doors and windows until further notice. Please continue to listen to local news and TV stations for the latest updates. The following is an urgent message from the California State Emergency Operations Center. It has been determined that the robots that were spotted in various cities across the state of California are responsible for destruction and loss of life in Hawaii, Alaska, and the Canadian province of British Columbia, and begun attacking citizens in California. It is requested that all residents in the state of California should seek shelter inside a sturdy structure immediately. Lock all doors and windows and place as many objects between you and the outdoors. It is not confirmed at this time if these robots are possessing nuclear weapons. This is a British Columbia emergency alert. The British Columbian provincial government has requested the transmission of the following message. A terrorist threat alert is now in effect for all of British Columbia. An organized formation of robots from an unknown origin have caused catastrophic damage throughout most of the Yukon Territory and northern British Columbia. The robots are expected to approach the Vancouver area in the next 30 minutes. Residents in Vancouver and surrounding areas are requested to seek shelter inside a well-built structure immediately. Barricade yourself between you and the outdoors. Do not approach the robots for any reason, as these robots are known to attack any human on sight. It is too late to evacuate the area. Seek shelter immediately. Continue to monitor this station or other media outlets for further updates.
The civil authorities have issued a civil danger warning for Island WA, Snohomish WA, Kitsap WA, King WA, Pierce WA, Jefferson WA, beginning at 2:23 p.m. and ending at 6:23 p.m. NWS/KCW. This message is from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center. Robots from an unknown location have begun attacking citizens across the west coast of the United States. An organized swarm of robots were approaching the city of Vancouver in British Columbia and are expected to enter the central Puget Sound region in the next 30 minutes. If you have not done so, seek shelter inside a sturdy building and stay away from windows. Lock all doors and windows. Be sure to place as many objects between you and the outdoors. It is too late to evacuate the area. Seek shelter immediately.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Nevada State Emergency Management. A nuclear bomb was detonated in Los Angeles, California about 2 hours ago. The city of Las Vegas only suffered moderate damage from the blast, but fallout remains a dangerous threat. All residents in the state of Nevada are requested to seek a fallout shelter now if they had not done so already. Fallout is product of nuclear blasts, and prolonged exposure can be deadly to humans. If you cannot seek a fallout shelter, barricade yourself between you and the outdoors. Ensure you have enough food, water, and supplies for up to 2 weeks. Emergency services may not be available for a few weeks after the fallout has arrived. Do not attempt to evacuate.
following is a message from the governor of the state of Missouri. Due to the impending invasion of the United States by artificial intelligence, the governor of Missouri has put the state of Missouri under martial law until further notice. All public services and transportation will be suspended for an indefinite period. Travel outside of the state is strictly prohibited. If you have arrived from out of state, it is requested you seek a military evacuation center for shelter. All residents should lock all doors and windows until further notice. Stay tuned to your local radio station for further details. This is KMOX AM serving the St. Louis area. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Missouri Emergency Operations Center. Widespread power outages are occurring across the state of Missouri at this time. The source of these power outages remains unknown. However, residents who have lost power are asked to remain in their homes until power is restored. Due to widespread power outages, disruption to water supplies and other electronic services will also be suspended. A boil water advisory is in effect for areas without any power that is disrupting the water supply. Drink bottled water and only use tap water if absolutely necessary. Power may not be restored for several weeks. Be prepared for a long-term power outage and stay tuned to your local radio station for further details. This is KMOX AM serving the St. Louis area.
The following is a message from the White House at the request of the President of the United States. At this time, the robot army has occupied about two-thirds of the continental United States and are continuing eastward. We have also heard that robots have occupied most of central and western Canada as well as western Mexico. In a recent report, it has been determined that the robots hijacking government frequencies to use as a form of communication. Numerous radio stations across the Midwest reported their stations being hijacked before robots invaded the area. The President of the United States and the FCC are requesting that all broadcast and cable systems to cut power to their station after transmitting this message. This action must be done to prevent further hijacking of radio frequencies. Any remaining citizens of the United States should evacuate to the East Coast. The United States National Guard has set up evacuation centers along the eastern seaboard. Major evacuation centers are located in the following cities: Atlanta, Memphis, Little Rock, Washington, D.C., Cleveland, Buffalo, New York City, Raleigh, Charleston, South Carolina, and Pittsburgh. If you live anywhere away from the East Coast, it is requested you evacuate to one of these cities. The military will be there to assist you. This is an evacuation immediate message. The governor of the state of Arkansas is issuing a mandatory evacuation order for the entire state of Arkansas. A large army of robots are moving rapidly southeastward towards the state of Arkansas. The governor is recommending all citizens to evacuate east to the Southeast U.S. Evacuation Center in Atlanta, Georgia. Evacuate now. These robots are known to shoot all humans on sight. This is an emergency situation. This station will cease transmission shortly. Evacuate now.
The civil authorities have issued an evacuation watch for all of Alabama beginning at 10:30 p.m. and ending at 1:30 a.m. WZZK. Voluntary evacuation order issued by the governor of Alabama. All residents in the state of Alabama are encouraged to evacuate east to the Atlanta Evacuation Center for safety. A vast army of robots have recently impacted the following areas: Little Rock, St. Louis, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Des Moines. These robots have caused widespread destruction across the western half of the United States. Uncertainty remains whether the robots will continue eastward towards Alabama. Evacuation is strongly encouraged. If you choose to evacuate, you should make final preparations and evacuate now. Choosing not to evacuate may lead to certain death.
This is an Ontario emergency alert. This alert is in effect for southern Ontario, including the cities of Toronto and Ottawa. The Ontario provincial government has issued a terrorist threat alert for southern Ontario, including the cities of Toronto and Ottawa. This is an extremely dangerous situation. A large army of dangerous robots are approaching the area from the west and are expected to reach the Toronto area in 1 hour. The Ontario provincial government is encouraging voluntary evacuations for residents in southern Ontario. Those who plan on evacuating should evacuate to the Montreal Evacuation Center in Quebec. Due to the current threat, the United States-Canada border will be closed until further notice. Do not travel to the border to evacuate. Emergency services may not be available to affected areas after the attack. Take action now to protect life and property.
This message has been transmitted at the request of the Georgia Division of Homeland Security. All residents in Georgia should seek shelter immediately. A large army of robots are approaching the state from Florida and are expected to cross the state border shortly. This army has caused mass destruction and loss of life across the state of Florida. Barricade yourself from these robots inside this sturdy structure. Stay away from windows as these robots will attack any human on sight. Make sure you lock all doors and windows. Only use armed intervention in an act of self-defense. The United States National Guard will be deployed to combat these robots shortly. The station will cease transmission shortly. Seek shelter immediately inside a building or structure.